So I don't know what your morning habit is. If you ever wake up and look at your phone, or you get up and immediately go take a shower, I don't know what your morning habit is. But for me, I open up my phone, I go to dear old Twitter, and I scroll through looking at some memes and some news. However, I see one thing from a specific person I watch on YouTube, that being Soundsmith. Now, if you don't know who Soundsmith is, he's been a pretty prominent figure in TF2, mainly for his casual meta and trolldering. However, he's been recently playing Human Fall Flat, and so with the tweet I'm about to read and already put on screen, you can see why I didn't think much of this tweet at first. The tweet literally reads, "Wow, I picked a really good time to stop playing TF2, huh?" And I tap on it, wondering what the responses are going to be if we're going to get some meme responses, right? So I look down, and he has a small thread for anyone wondering what's going on. And it's Steam database, and when you go to click what it says on Steam database, the source code for both CSGO and TF2 has been leaked to the public, along with the source engine licenses. Now, for those who don't know, this is the source code for the game. It's like a back door. So anyone who has access to these leaked files can fuck around with the game and the coding. Now, some people have pointed out, hey, it's dated 2017 and 2018. We shouldn't worry about it in 2020 TF2 or CSGO. The issue is, with something like TF2, I'm going to focus more on TF2 here, because that's my more favorite game out of the two. Don't get me wrong, CSGO is fun, but CSGO almost always gets major updates. However, with TF2, the game hasn't been updated since 2017 or 2018 with major content. That being said, the game is pretty much, these files are technically up to date with TF2. So, that being said, TF2 is kind of fucked. People have said that they've gone online, or there's been a couple of cases, and I can't confirm these cases. I'm just going off what I've been reading every now and again, but apparently some people have had some malware injected into their computer from these leaks. So that means we've had someone malicious take the files, fuck around, and add some malware into the online server. Which I don't know how that's possible, so take that with a grain of salt, but apparently it's led to some people getting VAC banned. Which I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. That does not sound fucking right. So anyway, with that being said, this has also led to accusations pointing to VNN, Valve News Network, i.e. Tyler McVicker. So with Tyler McVicker, the funny thing was I follow Gary Numan, so I saw this, and I thought he was just chatting it up with Valve News Network, so I didn't click on it. But this is after the data leak, and what we had a couple of 4chan posts saying he leaked it. And the thing with 4chan is you can't take 4chan with a grain of salt. Well, you can, but you have to consider it like in the front of your mind. Because 4chan's been right about many, many things before. 4chan being anonymous, you don't know who's going to be posting what. So this could be someone from Tyler's camp, this could be someone completely random and not know their shit. It could be anything. So that's why, while you can take 4chan with a grain of salt, it's better to put that grain of salt at the front of your mind and keep thinking about it, because something new can always come up. They've done it before with other video game news. They've done it with Smash leaks. I've seen a couple of Siege leaks. I've seen many leaks that, while some have not come true in one form, they came true in another form, or the leaks have been flat out wrong, or they've been completely true. It's a weird thing with 4chan because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, so you kind of have to keep considering it. Now, what Gary Numan tweeted at Tyler McVicker was just, "How's things?" And that cracked me up because Gary is always a smartass. Now, if you don't know who Gary Numan is, he created Face Punch Studios and made Gary's Mod and Rust. Now, Tyler responds, "This is a response from the recent leak of materials on 4chan. I would like to clear some things up regarding these. I did not leak anything. I will be submitting all evidence I have on the source code leak to Valve's legal department." And he continues on a thread. It says, "The code that is leaked today originally was leaked back in late 2018, which I was aware of and contacted Valve to warn them about. There are some private chat logs between myself and an unverified source from October of 2016 leaked. likely done to make it seem like the two are related. I want to make this clear. I did not provide any of the code materials to the person who leaked them. To reiterate, I never had access to the leaked code, nor was I the source of said code. The code was received from a contained leak from 2 years ago. If you have any questions about the events of this morning, feel free to contact me through Twitter DMs, as I have them open. I apologize for the inconvenience of today. Now, it's always interesting how Tyler's usually a extremely credible source for Valve News Network, so you don't want to say he's wrong. At the same time, you can't say 4chan's wrong, so it's kind of this headbutting thing going on, but you know, it's innocent until proven guilty. So right now, both sides are completely innocent in this regard. You can't say Tyler leaked it. You can't say 4chan's making it up completely. I mean, you can, but you know, like I said, it's always something to consider because 4chan's been right in the past as well. So, with that being said, there have been a couple of screenshots that are really suspect, per se. That being said, this is just something kind of breaking that I wanted to talk about, namely because TF2 is an enjoyable game to me, and to see that it's been plagued with lag bots, mic spam bots, and now a source code leak that people can completely rewrite the code and show you to local MILFs in your area, you know, it's kind of fucked up. And now you can't go on to the online service anymore or risk knowing that local bitches want to fuck. That or, you know, your computer gets bonsai buddy or some shit. Anyway, so that's just something I wanted to bring some attention to because it just happened. So that being said, don't go after Tyler. Don't go on 4chan and make, you know, false claims because we don't know the whole story yet. And I kind of want to talk about it as it keeps coming around because, well, I like both these games and it's a shame to see what's going to happen. It kind of sucks, but anyway. This being all the information we have right now, I think it's safe to call it the end of the video. I don't want anyone going after Tyler. I don't want anyone going on 4chan and saying, hey, Tyler did this, or dumbing down the whole incident, because this is a really big incident for a company like Valve. A lot of this was a lot of leaked information that can have a major impact on server-side and client-side shit. And it can be used for good, and it can also be used for malicious purposes. That being said, it's a huge wager to even go on an online server right now, so I highly recommend not doing it. That being said, thanks for stopping by and watching the video. I'll talk to you later. So we're going to start the Rusty Cage background music back up for a couple minutes here because some more stuff has just come out from a pretty credible source, actually. So, firstly, I want to mention this in case it wasn't obvious in the video. Gary's always been a smartass. He was joking in that tweet. It's even in the thread down below that I didn't get to look at the time. Now, for the 4chan posts, we now know that those aren't true. 4chan was just really trying to get a rise out of the community by saying that a credible source was wrong and leaked all this content to other people. They made fake chat logs. All the shit 4chan does on a, you know, typical Saturday night. Now, going back to Tyler's Twitter, he recently retweeted from someone named JC, which I haven't heard of this person completely. So we're going to go ahead and look at this. It is a 14 tweet thread, so we're going to look at it real quick and read all this stuff. This should put a lot of things to rest. I haven't completely read it all the way through, so we're going to go ahead and read it now and kind of go over what this person is telling us and how to go about all this. So it's going to start off here. The explanation of every leak from today, April 22nd, 2020, the reason that this leak happened is because one of Tyler's longtime associates was recently removed from Lever Softworks due to problematic behavior, including racism, homophobia, and transphobia. This source was a regular of the Valve Cut Content Discord community. This place is notoriously toxic, with this leaker being no exception. This person and I have never gotten along. This entire fiasco is simply retaliation for being removed from Lever Softworks. Just yesterday, Lever Softworks was formerly Tyler's game development group for Valve Beta Recreations, but this last year or so has become more independent. The main project from Lever is a recreation of Valve's cancelled F-Stop concept. I've been an on-again, off-again member of Lever for 4 years or so, I'm very familiar with this associate and their behavior. What follows will be an explanation of every individual item contained with this leak. So there are going to be a couple of items here, about up to 6. Now I haven't read all this completely and I'm kind of going a little fast here for my time constraint, so I might mess up a couple words. Sorry, first day with a new mouth, get over it. So as we're going to get into this, number 1, what are the source codes? The source code present in the leak was given to many people in May 2018 by a mentally unstable source who wanted to cause damage to Valve. The CSGO code is from May 2017, while the TF2 code is from November 2017. While Tyler never had direct access to the code, many of his associates had access and data mined it for the purpose of providing interesting information and trivia. Okay, fair. Number 2, what are the chat logs? I think he's referring to some of the fake chat logs. What are the chat logs? The chat logs with Cephalon and YSU Calc 2, that's just what I'm going to say it, or I'm going to shorten it down to YSU, are not related to the source code leak. In late 2016, Tyler was contacted by an unconfirmed source calling themselves Cephalon. The chat log between Tyler and Cephalon was shared with several close friends, including the one who is responsible for this leak. The YSU Discord group was a place where all this information was shared and discussed for the better part of 2 years. Number 3, what is the f-stop build? Not something we care about completely, but we're going to have to read it anyway. The build of f-stop is a Lever Softworks attempt at recreating Valve's cancelled project of the same name. It's very unfinished with few maps and unfinished assets. None of it is in any way official from Valve, since the leaker was in the Lever Softworks group, and was removed just yesterday for the aforementioned problematic behavior. Their username and work is all over the build. Number 4, what is Valve VSS images? This was something I was personally received from a Valve employee in 2018. While I was attempting to get the Gunman Chronicle source file, these images were sent to me so I could identify any folders that would be related to the game. Unfortunately, nothing of the sort existed. These images were also shared with close friends, including Tyler and this leaker. Number 5, how does this affect Tyler? It shouldn't. Really. Tyler is in contact with Valve and their legal team, and they're aware of the situation and will be handling it with Tyler's assistance. Okay, that's great. That's what we want to know. Valve is handling it completely and legally. It's just, we never hear anything from Valve, so thank God. Number 6, how will this affect Valve's game communities? There might be an increase in RCEs and TF2. Fucking A. Otherwise, I'm not really an authority on it. It will most certainly damage Valve's relationship with the Source Engine modding community. Beyond all of that, it's hard to say. And they go on to say that thread's over. So because the source mentioned an RC, I wanted to kind of touch upon it because I didn't earlier in the video. I thought it was kind of a thing that you should take with a grain of salt and not take too seriously because I didn't find that possible. But what it actually means, because this, source mentioned it and that it might be possible, an RCE is what's known as a remote code execution, which can allow an attacker to essentially gain access to one's PC or server, which in this case they get access to Valve's source code server and shit like that, and they can inject things into the game, such as malware, things to make things look like you're cheating, and that can lead you to getting viruses and getting VAC banned. Now, this is kind of a fucked up thing, so I'm not going to touch TF2 or CSGO for a little while. As much as I want to, I'm not going to, because I want my PC to stay safe, relatively. So, that being said, now that we have all the details, just go ahead, stay off the online servers for TF2 and CSGO until this gets resolved. We now know that Valve's working on it with Tyler McVicker because he brought it up to Valve. Now we have kind of a new outlook on everything. So, that being said, everything's going fine. I will cover this later on when I get the chance to. And I'm going to be watching over it for a little bit to gather everything, unlike this original part of the video, because not everything was known at the time. That's why I had to make a second part to it and add it into this video. That being said, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you coming by. We're going to take a look at more of this when the news comes out. Take care.